on the topic of, black women's issues being brought to light through these Perry movies, I beg to differ. You see, these movies aren't bringing these issues to light in a way that these movies can then address the issues and show black women a positive way out of these issues. These movies are simply just throwing the issues out there in our faces. These movies are not going to entice black men to see the issues of black women any more so than they do. The only men who watch these movies that will get a better understanding and a better sense of concern for these types of black women issues are the men who already are concerned about black women's issues. The men who've ignored black women's issues in the past are still going to ignore black women's issues because the issues are presented in these movies, and these movies actually attack the black male. And so the black male is not going to be open to seeing and learning about these issues because he's already going to be in a defensive mode because he sees himself on the screen being portrayed as the big bad monster. If anything, it seems as though these types of movies, as well as a whole host of other Hollywood movies made by other directors and producers, aren't encouraging black women to settle their differences and work out their issues with black men. It seems as though these movies are encouraging black women to seek solace in other racial groups of men, particularly white men, or worse than that, encouraging black women to seek solace amongst themselves as far as lesbian type relationships. I mean, we see it happening every day. So after movies like these, then you throw on top of that movies like Something New, Guess Who, Lakeview Terrace, hell, any Zoe Saldana movie besides Stump the Yard, Monsters Ball, specials like Black in America, the other little special they did on black women not being able to get married, successful black women. And all of the brothers in the movies have white women on their arms in the movies and out of the movies. Throw all that in together and it's a wrap for black families. And the behavior of the black women in these movies is being witnessed by impressionable young black females, and these young black females are in turn reenacting the behavior they see in these movies. I have a friend who told me that him and his wife went to see Colored Girls, and when they got home, as soon as they walked in the house, his wife began to go off on him and was actually using some of the same lines she had just heard in the movie. It's like a justification for black women to have malice towards black men. They're not using these movies to work through issues. They're using these movies to justify their disdain for their brothers. And it's like a new genre of exploitation. Like these aren't necessarily regular people. And like I said, sure, we have particular issues in the black community, like thinking about Precious and Colored Girls and stuff like that. We live in the black community. We know what goes on in black families. We live that. We know what goes on. So we don't need a constant reminder every year or every 6 months of movies put on the screen detailing the negative aspects of black life, black community, black family, etc. We know that. We live that. We've been there. We're the ones going through it. We don't need those reminders. So who are these movies really being made for? These movies are put out across the world, and people all around the world are seeing these movies about black people, and only these movies about black people. So it's determining the type of perspective that these people around the world have about black people. This is all black people are, as far as they're concerned. And it's putting a negative image out there, and we accept it because well, you know, he's black and he's making movies, so we feel like we have to embrace everything he do. You know what I'm saying? But we have to look at the bigger picture. Like, if a black person is in the limelight and they're doing things that are detrimental to the black community as a whole, then we need to check that, and we need to not support that. I mean, it's just flat out, like, you know, and everybody's not going to get the message. A lot of people still going to love Tyler Perry. No matter how much he puts them down, they're still going to love it because they don't know any better. So I'm not really trying to change the hearts and minds of people and get you to stop going to Tyler Perry movies. I don't have an issue with Tyler Perry making money. You know what I'm saying? I just wish that the brother would see that, yes, there are people that love his movies, but there are also black people that take issue with his movies, and he needs to address those issues and adjust his films accordingly. And the issue that we as black men and some black women who do see the madness, the issue that we have is that, you know, it would be okay for him to put particular movies out like this, discussing the plight of black people in America in this type of fashion, if he also coupled that with positive movies dealing with black people. Every issue, every movie doesn't have to be a black urban tragedy. You know, we have success stories, we have beautiful stories to tell, but it seems as though Tyler Perry has only taken the road of the black urban tragedy.